So I'm going to try to demonstrate how we can use Google Sheets to do some sort of repetitive calculations that you all did by hand for this two-dimensional lab. I gave you each a time, and you had to go through the drudgery of punching all that into a calculator and figuring out positions, velocities, angles, all of that. But Google Sheets automates all of this, so if you haven't done formulas in Google Sheets before, let me try to show you quickly. I don't want to do too much, but what we're going to do is I've got a column here. Column A is for the times, and we can populate any time at all into there. So we'll kind of do that later. But what we want to put in here is not like go to your calculator and figure out what that position is, but type in a formula that uses the time in column A. So let me show you how this is done. We always start with an equals sign, and then the formula is on, it's on the lab, or it's on this big grid page. It says 0.7t squared minus 2t plus 5. So I'm going to type 0.7 times, and then instead of t, what I do is I click in the box that has the time in it, which is box or cell A2. I should call it a cell, not a box. And then I'm going to square that, so I do the caret 2. Okay? And, excuse me, and then minus 2t, so minus 2 times, and then hit that cell again, and then plus 5, plus 5. And I hit enter. And it actually puts in not the formula, but it puts in the result of that calculation that it did with this. Okay? Now, let me show you one of the great things about Google Sheets. There is a process called fill down. And so when you click on this box with the formula in it, and you see this little lower right-hand corner, if you grab that right there and pull it down, it will copy the formula and change every cell that says A2. Because you're now in row 3, it assumes you want to use A3. And down here, when I'm in row 4, it assumes we want to use A4, which is exactly what we want to do. So now I can populate as many times in here as I want to and just continue doing this fill down. Now it doesn't know quite what to do with this, so let's put a few more times in here. Maybe I could do 1, 2, 3, 4. And it automatically does that calculation. Isn't that neat? Over here, the y component. I'll put in a different formula because my y component has a different equation for it. So start with an equal sign. It's negative 0.2 times t squared. So I hit a caret. You have to hit the caret, I think. Oops. Times, don't put in t. Click the cell that has the time in it, and then raise it to a power of 2. And then plus 4t. So I hit plus 4 times and back to that cell again. And then minus 20. Minus 20. Hit enter. And there's the result of that. Do another fill down, and it will populate those. Now, these decimals get a little bit nutty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these boxes right here, and there is, up here, there's a quick way to change the number of decimal points. So if we do left or right, we can change it. So let's just go to 2 decimal places. I feel, or 1 decimal place is probably sufficient for this, especially since we were just putting it on the grid. Okay? So very similar. So I'll let you do the velocities. I'll let you do the speed. Now the speed involves a formula, right? So for things like squaring and square rooting, you have to look up what the syntax is, what the letters are. And if you think you know what it might be, just start typing it, and Google Sheets will tell you whether you're close or not. You can also look it up under the help menu, like how to, and then you can put it in square root, and it'll tell you the syntax, the letters to use. And then the hardest thing in here will probably be the angle. Where is it? The angle of the velocity, counterclockwise from 0. I'm not sure we're going to have enough time while we're working on this lab to really dig into that, but it will be a fun challenge. For those of you who know Google Sheets pretty well, like what I just showed you is like sort of ho-hum, but that angle thing is probably going to challenge you a little bit. And I've given you a little nudge by doing these 2 columns before it. The angle measured from horizontal and the quadrant that your velocity vector points towards. So there's a lot wrapped into that. What I call if statements are really helpful for things like that. Now, I haven't actually done that one myself, but I've done a lot like it. So so anyway, I'll let you kind of play around with that and, do the best you can. If you learn a little something about Google Sheets, that's wonderful. That's what I'm hoping. If you get the whole thing done and can get the whole thing working, I mean, that's even better. But honestly, that's sort of a moonshot at this point. So just do what we can and see how it goes. Okay? All right, there we are.